Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Odd Eyes Rebellion Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for March 2024. Wanted to update the XYZ version of the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon deck, focusing on being able to get out the different XYZ boss monsters we have for Odd Eyes, including Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, Odd Eyes Rebellion Xyz Dragon, and cards like Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overlord, and also Odd Eyes Raging Dragon. So Xyz summoning is the main focus of the deck, so it being an Odd Eyes deck, using some of the many different Pendulum Magicians that we have to also support the playstyle, being able to go into cards like Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon to then properly summon out cards like Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. We're running 3 copies of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. One of the needed cards to Xyz summon into our Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. You need 2 level 7 dragons, but you gain the full effects of this card if you also have an XYZ monster as material. If it was Xyz summoned by using an Xyz monster as Xyz material, but Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon can also just count as one of the additional cards, plus also have the additional search power for any of our other Pendulum monsters with 1500 or less attack from our deck to our hand. We're also running 3 copies of Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon, so we have the destruction play if an Odd Eyes card is destroyed by battle or card effect to special summon an Odd Eyes monster from our deck. So just having it in the Pendulum scale, we can then either set Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon in the other Pendulum scale, use its destruction effect, and then use Arc Pendulum to grab 1 additional Odd Eyes Pendulum monster from the deck to the field. And then also the 2 copies of Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon and the 1 Odd Eyes Phantasm Dragon, having more of an option for being able to add a Dragon Pendulum monster back from the extra deck, and using Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon for the high scale, but also the special summon setup by tributing monsters, but mostly in here just for high scale Odd Eyes search power, as well as Odd Eyes Phantasma Dragon. We're also running 3 copies of Odd Eyes Persona Dragon for the last of the Odd Eyes monsters that we run in this variant. As I said, it's mostly a version of the deck that can focus on getting out the different Odd Eyes Xyz monsters, but still wanted a low scale option for our Odd Eyes cards to be able to search out from the deck using cards like Sky Iris to do so. For the additional rank 4 Xyz support, because once again we do want to be able to summon out Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon in this deck as well, we run the 3 copies of Supreme King Dragon Darkworm and the 1 copy of Supreme King Gate 0, giving us another level 7 to potentially use to go into the many rank 7 monsters that we run in the deck. And Darkworm being able to search it out while also having a special summon option from the graveyard for us to use when we control no monsters, and then just needing 1 more additional level 4 monster to be able to overlay into Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. For the proper use of setting up our scales, 3 copies of Zhangqi Magician and 2 copies of Zhangshen Magician. You use both of these cards for their pendulum scale effects. Zhangqi, during its return, you can target a face-up Xyz monster you control, and you can use it as an Xyz material for Xyz summon using its rank as if it were a level. And then Zhangshen being able to adjust the option of that level 5 or higher monster to make it a scale or option for that monster to become equal to your opponent's card. You can target a face-up Xyz monster you control and 1 level 5 or higher monster, and the Xyz monster's rank becomes equal to that monster's level. So then you can make the Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon that you already gave a level 7 to be able to overlay with Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. For additional magician support, 2 copies of Wisdom Eye Magician to be able to search out the different magicians for the proper pendulum scale, and 1 copy of Oath Dragon Magician to also be able to add back the proper card. Sometimes you might just even need the one or the other, because then the needed level adjustment can then just be used for those specific cards. I also run 3 copies of Performer Palace Skull Acrobat Joker, just for more search power, whether it be for our pendulum magicians or our Odd Eyes monster, and also being another level 4 to be able to use for our rank 4 Xyz summons, with the last of the main deck monsters being 1 copy of Astrograph Sorcerer for another level 7 to make use of the destruction plays of cards like Odd Eyes, being able to summon it and then give us an additional search for the last copy of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon in the deck. For the spells, I'm running 3 copies of Spiral Flame Strike. You activate one of these effects if you control an Odd Eyes card, target a card in the field and destroy it, or you can add 1 level 7 Odd Eyes monster from your deck to your hand, or 1 face-up 7 Odd Eyes Pendulum from your extra deck. So more search power using this spell as well. And it's not a once per turn either. So if you have multiples, you can search out multiple Odd Eyes cards off of this card. 2 copies of Sky Iris to be able to destroy cards while also in turn searching out and also protecting your cards from being targeted by your opponent's card effects. The 2 copies of Duelist Alliance to search out our Pendulum cards. There are some specific one-ofs that we run, including cards like Pendulum Call, which can then be used to search out the 2 needed Magician cards, but Duelist Alliance can also help to search out our Odd Eyes cards as well that have Pendulum in the name. 2 copies of Wings of Light to search out our Supreme King monsters, also for their specific names to add to our hand. And then for the one-ofs, 1 copy of Pendulum Call, along with 1 Dragon Shrine and 1 Foolish Burial to set up the Dark Worms in the graveyard to just be able to summon back, and Pendulum Call just to be able to search out Genki and Zhengshen Magician, all the easier as well. And now moving on to the extra deck, I run 2 copies of Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. It needs 2 level 7 dragon type monsters. If you can pendulum summon level 7, you can pendulum summon this face-up card from your extra deck. If it's Xyz summoned by using an Xyz monster as material, destroy as many level 7 or lower monsters your opponent controls as possible. Inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent for each one destroyed, and it can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase. So a real finisher for the powerhouse in the deck. And if this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy as many cards in your pendulum zones and then place this card in the pendulum zone, giving you a scale 4 pendulum and being able to fill out the other zone with a card from the deck during the turn if you have no other cards in your pendulum zone. I also run the 1 copy of Odd Eyes Rebellion Xyz Dragon. If you can pendulum summon level 7, you can do the same with this card as well. And for your Xyz Dragon, with this card, it cannot be used as material for Xyz summon. The turn was Xyz summon. You can detach 1 from this card, then target up to 2 monsters your opponent controls with 3,000 less attack. Destroy them. You can use this effect of Rebellion Xyz Dragon once per turn. And if this card is in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place it in your pendulum zone. So this card can be used very well with Odd Eyes Rebellion, setting it up with cards like your Genki Magician, making it a level to then be able to overlay your Odd Eyes Rebellion Xyz Dragon with an Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, using the 2 together to go into Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, giving you the needed Xyz monster by just needing a 2 level 7 setup, which you have plenty of in the deck, to go into Odd Eyes Rebellion Xyz Dragon and then go for that play. I also run the 1 copy of Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon Overload. You can also Xyz summon this card using a Rebellion Xyz monster you control as material. Transfer its materials to this card. You can pendulum summon level 7. You can also pendulum summon this face-up card from the extra deck. If it was Xyz summon using a rank 7 Xyz monster, it can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase. And also, with this card, you can only place this card in the pendulum sale when it's destroyed as well. But this is meant to use also your cards like your Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon using your Rebellion Xyz monster, or you can use your Odd Eyes Rebellion to overlay on top of Overload, depending on which one you want to go for, and then gain the additional effects without needing to go through the rank 4 Dark Rebellion Xyz play. And also 1 copy of Odd Eyes Raging Dragon for the second attack and can perform the detach 1 to destroy as many cards your opponent controls and gain 200 attack for each. So more of a destruction play to rely on using this card as well, with our other Xyz monsters being the 1 copy of Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, the 1 Dark Intellion Dragon, 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, the 1 Time Star Magician for more of the Magician Search, and the 1 Zeus as well. As I said, Xyz summons is the main focus in the deck, and it's why I wanted to rely on for a good variety of the plays. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon can be sent to the graveyard to be able to summon out our Fusion monster, which is our Odd Eyes Vortex, just another additional negate option on the field, along with our Link monsters, which is the 1 copy of Beyond the Pendulum, 1 Underclock Taker, to be able to go into an easy Link monster if we don't have the Magician or Pendulum monsters to use with it, Exceed the Pendulum, and 1 Appaloosa to finish off the extra deck as well. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I said, setup is a big part of it. So if you have cards like your Arc Pendulum Xyz Dragon and then the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon as well, you can either go for the destruction play of cards like your Sky Iris, destroying Odd Eyes to gain an additional search of an Odd Eyes card. So then you can add an additional Odd Eyes card there. Your Arc Rebellion will activate as well. This can give you the final search needed for your Odd Eyes monster as well, depending on the one you want to go for, searching that card out, special summoning it to the field. You can then set your scale and then pendulum summon out the 1 additional Odd Eyes monster to the field. This will give you the 2 level 7 monsters needed for you to then summon out your Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceed Dragon. It can't be used the turn it's summoned, but then you can use the following end phase effect of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, destroying this card to search out for a needed pendulum card as well, which you can use to add Wisdom Eye for the play in the pendulum scale. So you'll need another card in the pendulum scale, being a magician or a perform ball card. So the next turn you can either use the Sky Iris to destroy your Arc Pendulum Dragon, then being able to search out another Odd Eyes card for that specific play. You can add that one to your hand, needing the 1 additional pendulum monster or perform ball card in your other scale, which you can either draw into or search out with some of your other cards to use. Setting up your Wisdom Eye Magician, destroying that card to set up your Zheng Qi as well, and then you can go from there, either using your Odd Eyes Rebellion Overlord to overlay into it, giving you the easy 3 attacks there, or you can use the effect of Zheng Qi, making it a level, overlaying that card into your Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, and then the Odd Eyes Overlord to at least have more materials if you were to go for the attack play, and then on resolution during the end of that turn, have a Zeus with some powered up Exceed material to use for its own play as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, it was just a take on a different variant of the Odd Eyes deck you can build. I've done Synchro, I've done Fusion, but I wanted to focus more on the Exceed option you can do with the deck as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.